What if events went differently, and Emperor Palpatine didn't just fall down the reactor shaft on the second Death Star? He ascended to something far darker. Welcome back, my fellow watchers of the multiverse, to another brand new What If episode. My name is Max Charlebois, aka MissedThePart, and you've tuned into Star Wars Week, where we take your favorite galactic legends and throw them into chaotic alternate timelines across the multiverse. Today's scenario is pure madness. What if Palpatine took over the zombies in Call of Duty? After his death, Palpatine's essence finds its way to Griffin's station, where he seizes control of the MPD, the central mind behind the zombie outbreak. Meanwhile, a Star Wars strike team gets caught in a dimensional rift and wakes up in transit, stranded, hunted, and surrounded by endless waves of the undead. Versus zombie, science and survival is not guaranteed. Before we dive in, don't forget to check out the brand new MissedThePart Fourth Wall store. It has brand new Star Wars Week merchandise, Grand Theft Kenobi merch. Where, what if Obi-Wan left the temple and hit up Grove Street? From the high ground to the hood. This drop is absolutely crazy, and it's available for 1 week only, so once it's gone, it's never coming back on the channel, and it's exclusive only for Star Wars Week. And again, I want to give a massive shout out, my fellow watchers, to the incredible Patreon supporters and YouTube members. You guys are legends, and you guys keep helping build this multiverse brick by brick. And if you want behind the scenes videos, exclusive content, and early access to episodes like this one, hit that join button or head over to the Patreon right now. That being said, lock and load, and let's dive in today's Undead Chaos. The second Death Star erupts in a violent cascade of fire and debris. A blinding white core collapses in on itself, sending a shockwave across the vacuum of space. From the surface of Endor, rebel soldiers and Ewoks alike watch in awe as the sky turns gold, then black, then finally calm. They cheer, they dance, the war is over. But deep within the remnants of the shattered superweapons, something moves. Before the explosion, before Vader lifted his son and cast the Emperor to his death, something ancient awoke. As Palpatine fell, screaming, crackling with Force lightning, he reached not for life, but for continuity. His final desperate thought was not fear, but calculation. A location, a signal, a tear. Somewhere far from this galaxy, at the same moment in time, the MPD device on Griffin's station fires. Earth, our Earth, is destroyed. Black Ops 1's moon ending plays out in parallel. Richtofen, having stolen control of the zombies, uses the base's lunar weapon to nuke the planet from orbit. The Earth's crust cracks open like a wound. Fire swallows oceans. Time itself stutters. And in that moment, Palpatine slips through the rift. Luke Skywalker drags the body of his father, Darth Vader, onto the shuttle ramp. The hangar trembles around them. Flaming panels crash. Sirens wail. Vader, breathing raggedly, places a hand on Luke's shoulder. "Tell your sister. You were right." Luke holds him tighter. "I won't leave you." Vader exhales. The light in his eyes fades. Then, silence. The stolen Lambda-class shuttle breaks through the hangar's force field and escapes the inferno behind them. Luke flies alone, tears on his cheek. Vader's armor rests quietly beside him. Wrapped in a makeshift robe, he speaks softly into the comms. "This is Commander Skywalker. I have one passenger. Requesting landing coordinates on Endor." Static. No response. He tries again. More static. And then something else. A pulse. A shockwave of unnatural blue light rips through space like a tsunami. The stars distort. The sky twists into kaleidoscopic fragmentation. The moon shatters. Leia, Han, Chewie, and the droids watch from the forest below as the sky above Endor tears open. What begins as a ripple becomes a storm, a jagged rift of red lightning and screaming noise. Chewbacca roars, R2 screeches, the ground shakes violently. And then, the world goes white. The crash is brutal. The shuttle slams down into a field of obsidian ash, skidding for over 100 meters before slamming into a derelict structure. Metal groans. Steam pours from ruptured vents. Luke is thrown from his seat, Vader's armor sliding across the deck. When he crawls out of the wreckage, he finds not Endor, not a forest, not trees, but ruins. Concrete shells of skyscrapers. Red skies, a black sun hanging motionless above. The moon is shattered in the sky, chunks orbiting like broken teeth. Lava bleeds through cracked streets. The air smells of smoke, rot, and iron. The stars are wrong, so very wrong. Luke staggers onto the ruined surface. Han, Leia, Chewie, and the others lie nearby, groaning, covered in dirt and dust. R2's dome is cracked. C-3PO twitches in shutdown. Leia coughs and sits up. What happened? Han looks around, gun already drawn. This ain't Endor. Then they hear it. A distant horn. Mechanical. Metallic. The screech of a bus. From the fog, a familiar vehicle lumbers into view. Burned, corroded, wrapped in black vines. The wheels crunch over bones and ash. The headlights flicker in and out like dying stars. It is the transit bus, and it's being driven by a creature none of them recognize. Ted the android driver is hunched, twitching, sparking. His voice plays in broken loops. Welcome back to Earth. Please do not bleed on the seats. The doors swing open. A blast of foul air hits them. Chewie growls low. Luke narrows his eyes. Leia reaches for her blaster. Han just says, "We're already in hell. Might as well ride the shuttle bus." They board. Inside the bus, twisted metal seats. Carvings in unknown languages. Bloody handprints. A severed clone trooper helmet fused to a mannequin head. A radio crackles. This is Station 5. They're not dead anymore. Suddenly, the bus jolts forward. Outside the window, silhouettes begin to form. They stumble. They moan. They wear stormtrooper armor, cracked, melted, fused to their flesh. Others wear clone trooper armor, but their eyes glow with Sith corruption. One slams against the bus. Another climbs the side. Leia fires a shot. It hits, but the zombie doesn't stop. Luke reaches for his saber, then stops. Something, a whisper, echoes in his mind. He is not gone. He turns to the back of the bus. Vader's armor has vanished. The transit bus rumbles through a canyon of collapsed Clone Wars-era gunships and burned Republic cruisers, their hulls jutting from the cracked earth like fossilized beasts. Teddy twitches at the wheel, sparks sputtering from his neck joint. Every few minutes he mutters, "Destination, undefined, route, corrupted, welcome to nowhere." Inside the bus, no one speaks. Chewbacca tightens bandages around Leia's arm. Luke stares silently at the horizon. Han's knuckles are white on his blaster. Leia hasn't slept. R2 beeps weakly from a scorched corner of the cabin. The landscape beyond them is like someone took the prequel trilogy and Zombies Earth, ground it into ash, and painted it in despair. Giant clone helmets carved into hillsides, Jedi statues half buried in lava, stormtrooper banners waving from abandoned towers that loop their animations, flickering like broken gifs. They stop at a ruined galactic communications tower, a half-toppled satellite node fused into a transit diner. As they scavenge for supplies, Luke finds something inside a storage vault, a cracked holocron fused to ether crystal shards, pulsing faintly. When he touches it, he's hit with a vision. He stands in a temple, Jedi. Dozens of them. Their eyes glow blue, then red, then black. They turn and charge. He snaps out of it gasping. Leia rushes to his side. What did you see? Everything or nothing. I don't know anymore. Han discovers a pack-a-punch station inside the remains of a downed Republic gunship. At first, it looks like trash, but as he drops a broken droid arm onto it, the machine activates, blasting the arm with corrupted Kyber energy. He slaps it onto a stolen gauntlet, and suddenly, he can force push. Not well, not elegant, but effective. He grins. Looks like I've joined the cult. He names it, the Smuggler's Shove. Chewie builds a pack-a-punched bowcaster using a rebel transmitter, Kyber shards, and the cooling coil from a gonk droid. When fired, it creates a force shockwave that knocks zombies off their feet, temporarily phasing them into a blue-glitched stun plane. Leia upgrades her sniper into a plasma burst rifle that charges shots with recycled lightsaber cores. R2 integrates his dome into a surveillance uplink. For 60 seconds at a time, he can reveal every zombie within a mile, glowing in red through walls and terrain. But the world begins to rot faster. At the next stop, a scorched Jedi Archives bunker, Luke discovers a terminal that only opens when he uses the Force. Inside a flickering holo transmission, Anakin Skywalker, but twisted, eyes yellow, voice broken. There is no death, only continuity. The Emperor lives. He lives. Through the loop. Leia gasps. Is that... Luke looks hollow. That was me, or him, or both. Next stop, the swamp of the 501st. Crash-lat ice ships, half submerged in tar pits. Clone zombie elites roam in blue armor, groaning unfinished orders like execute all remaining life forms. One clone wears a Jedi robe, another cries in Mandalorian. Here, they face their first boss, a Phase 1 clone captain whose armor is fused with Sith glyphs and Palpatine's voice lines. He phases in and out of reality, uses Force, choke through corrupted ether, and laughs with two voices at once. They defeat him using the bowcaster and Han's Force glove combo, but not before Leia is marked by a strange black energy that seeps into her palm. Afterward, they rest in the husk of an AT-AT buried in lava. The inside smells of smoke and rust. Luke sits at the edge, staring at a broken holopad playing static. Suddenly, Yoda's voice. Not through war, not through fear, not through vengeance. Break the loop, you must. Then, silence. Then, or become it. Luke closes the holopad. At dawn, the sky turns red. The moon above them begins to move. Not rotate, move. Han watches in horror as the shattered moon pieces realign, then pulse with red energy. A crackling signal cuts through every speaker in their gear. Palpatine's voice. Young Skywalker, it is not the living that shape the Force. It is the dead, and I have all of them now. All the lights flicker. TEDD's eyes flash crimson. The bus lurches forward. Final destination, Reclamation Protocol active. The fog rises, and from the edges of the swamp come thousands, clones, stormtroopers, rebels, Jedi, all undead, marching toward them. The transit bus careens down a mountainside of scorched glass and twisted metal, its wheels sparking, smoke billowing behind it. TEDD's voice has stopped, now it just hums, an ancient Sith chant. The earth below isn't even earth anymore. It is a patchwork of Star Wars ruins and BO1 zombies landmarks. Transit's diner fused with a half-melted Jedi temple. The Pentagon collapsed into Camino architecture, a lava river flowing between decayed ATTs and charred MG-42 nests. In the sky above, the broken moon reassembles. Giant ether sigils begin to orbit its surface. Leia clutches her infected hand. The mark has spread to her forearm, black veins laced with red lines, pulsing with Palpatine's voice. You are my legacy, not your brother. Han clutches her tighter. Chewbacca growls low. He can hear something coming. Luke stands at the edge of the final cliffside. Below them, a colossal structure, shaped like an inverted Death Star throne room, embedded into a corrupted Nacht der Untoten bunker. Pillars of red energy spiral upward like tendrils, holding it suspended in midair. And at its heart, the Emperor. Not flesh, not spirit, a consciousness. Fused with the ether, he speaks through stormtroopers, through corpses, through Luke's own voice. This is where the galaxy ends, not with war, but with consumption. The group descends into the throne. Each floor is a corrupted era of Star Wars. The Clone Wars floor is overrun by clone zombie tacticians who call out battle orders mid-attack. The Rebellion floor forces Han and Leia to fight zombified versions of old friends. Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, even General Rewritten. The Jedi Temple floor shows ghostly children with lightsabers hissing in corrupted languages. They do not attack. They simply watch. At the center, the Ether Core throne, where Palpatine's consciousness pulses in red crystal, suspended in a stasis field of lightning and bones. Standing before it is Luke Skywalker, but not the real one. A copy, eyes red, face emotionless, wearing Vader's armor, lightsaber pulsing with Sith glyphs. Palpatine's last trick, a perfected Skywalker, bred from fear, rage, and failure. This one didn't hesitate, the Emperor hisses. This one didn't cry for his father. He finished the job. The duel is a Force anomaly. Every strike shatters a different time fragment. Luke blocks a blow and sees himself on Dagobah. He counters, and suddenly it's Ahch-To. He takes a hit, and he's back on the Death Star, watching Vader die. Again. The throne room folds in on itself, becoming a swirling loop of Luke's past and future selves. Leia screams from the sidelines, her hand glowing violently. Han fires into the darkness. It barely slows anything down. Chewie is fighting back to back with zombie clones in Mandalorian armor. Luke finally pins his dark self, but doesn't kill him. He turns to the Emperor's crystal. You said this is where the galaxy ends. Yes. Then let it. He plunges his saber into the core of the loop, and the world breaks. Everything turns white. Luke floats in blackness, alone. Only whispers now. You did what we could not, Anakin's voice. You chose peace, even if it meant ending everything. Obi-Wan's voice. You never feared the dark. You just refused to become it. Yoda's voice. End, this may be. Or beginning. Leia appears. Her hand no longer marked. She smiles. Han's silhouette appears beside her. He rolls his eyes. Well, I always said I wasn't gonna die in a trash compactor. Guess this counts. Chewie nods. Even in the end, still loyal. R2 floats by. Just a flickering memory now. Luke looks down at his hands. He's glowing. I understand, he whispers. The galaxy didn't need another Jedi. He looks forward. It needed a sacrifice. White fades to black. Then silence. A barren world. No stars. No sun. A group of children scavenging in the ruins of a Jedi archive. One finds a saber hilt buried in ash. He activates it. It glows silver. Above them, the sky opens, and the eye of the cracked moon watches. From its center, a laugh, faint, corrupted, still alive. Palpatine. The galaxy no longer exists as a place, but as memory. The Force, once vibrant and flowing, now flickers like a dying candle across shattered dimensions. Reality has been twisted so many times that only fragments remain, echoing endlessly in the ruins of time. we drift through one such fragment. A quiet, colorless plain. No sky, no ground, just soft, rolling nothing. Luke Skywalker stands alone. His Jedi robes ripple in a wind that doesn't exist. His lightsaber is gone. His body, neither flesh nor spirit. He is afterlife, after form, after purpose. He walks for what could be seconds, could be eternities. Then he hears a voice. You took the path we feared. He turns. Obi-Wan Kenobi, smiling, proud, sad. We were trained to fight. You were trained to release. From the fog emerges Yoda, sitting calmly atop nothing. Lost the Force is, twisted by power, but pure in your end it became. A third form joins them. Anakin, no armor, no anger. Just the man, young, tired, eyes soft again. You saved them, Luke. Luke shakes his head. I ended everything. Anakin smiles, gently. You saved them from what we became. The plane shifts, now a cliff edge. Beyond it, the remnants of all timelines swirl in a void of broken stars and half-formed planets. Wars play out in glitched loops. Jedi fight Sith in frozen duels. Palpatine's laughter echoes from every corner. Luke stares. He's still out there. Yoda nods solemnly. So long as hate exists, he will always echo. Obi-Wan looks to Luke. The galaxy isn't waiting to be saved, it's waiting to be rebuilt, but not by us. From behind them comes a new presence, Leia, wearing full Jedi robes, calm, strong. You bought time, Luke, that's all peace ever is. Han stands beside her, still sarcastic but quiet. Chewbacca growls, his voice finally peaceful. Even R2 and 3PO flicker into the scene, not as machines, but as echoes of loyalty. The Force ghosts form a circle, one final act. Luke walks to the cliff's edge. He kneels, places his hand on the void, and closes his eyes. Let the light die. He fades, not into blue glow, but into nothing. Silence. A distant world, primitive, quiet. A single child picks up a piece of metal from the sand. It's old, worn, a saber hilt. She looks at the stars. They flicker for a moment, then stabilize. Hope. Not from battle, but from memory. That is going to be it for what if Palpatine took over the zombies in Call of Duty. Now, what did you think of this crazy what if with Palpatine taking over the MPD, you know, still being alive and controlling the zombies in the Call of Duty universe? It's a very interesting crossover, and it makes you wonder, like, the dark side is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural, and this storyline is definitely unnatural. It's definitely something that I never would have thought of doing, but I was doing a reel on YouTube, and I thought, you know what, imagine if Palpatine took over the MPD, and that's where that started. So make sure to check out the MissedThePart Shorts YouTube channel, because you never know, everything's connected, everything's intertwined. So if you see a video on the Shorts YouTube channel, it might just end up over here, and it did. It ended up on Star Wars Week, and I can't thank you guys enough. But that being said, make sure to get your MissedThePart Fourth Wall merchandise. It's only available for 1 week. Grand Theft Kenobi, it's available right now, where from the high ground to the hood. Obi-Wan leaves the Jedi Temple and he hits up Grove Street. This merchandise is absolutely killer, and it's only available for 1 week only, my fellow watchers, so again, all of the proceeds go back towards the channel. And if you guys do want to support the channel further, I would highly recommend checking out the Patreon as well as the YouTube member. The memberships are very interesting, and I would highly recommend to check it out. There's so many different perks with both of these different platforms, and again, massive shout out to you guys, because you guys continue to build the multiverse brick by brick, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I can't even thank you enough, because Star Wars Week would not really be happening if it wouldn't have been without your support. It probably wouldn't have happened. So again, thank you guys so much. I hope you're enjoying Star Wars Week as we continue with this crazy madness. It's absolutely phenomenal. But that being said, make sure to subscribe, like, share, turn those notifications on so you and your friends are all up to date with the latest content. And I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a wonderful day. Peace out.